animal overheard. Hopefully, I mean, since ambulance is here, it must not have, do you know anything about the fire that was over by the interstate? Must not have been any
I'm not
injuries.
working today. So
Okay.
I have a grade one, but we didn't get paid anything.
Okay, so no injuries, that's good.
I don't think, yeah, no, Lennox Fire didn't get paid either. My paper went off.
Weird.
Did they?
Yeah, Lennox Fire.
Oh, they did? Okay, I was like, it was a pretty big one.
My paper didn't go off.
Got a little writer's cramp.
Never mind.
What's the staple then?
See, it sounded like it was just a fire that kind of grew out of control, like a fire.
Well, it looked like it was along the ditch, but I wasn't, I mean, I didn't drive right by it, obviously, I'm not gonna be a looky-loo, but
It sounded like it was starting to encroach a building, that's why they,
called it in.
yeah.
Oh, that's good.
This one doesn't have initials on it, does that matter? It didn't have anybody with initials on it. It matches, but
Well, the funny thing was
it was missing the NP,
this stretch from 5
whatever it usually has.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me get that to the other side of the room.
We had some of those.
So
too.
far, so good.
Good. Pass this along, Billy.
Okay. We're calling Swear.
They're fine, I'm not passing them off to you. I don't know,
Talks
don't
about
it?
25%.
Yeah, that's, I sent that around. Yeah, yeah, thank you though.
I didn't know.
Yes.
That's all right, it started here.
Okay. Just, it was 50%.
Yes.
It's made its rounds.
Yeah,
All right.
I just was impressed by Secretary of State things.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I think it's the first year they've done that.
Hello?
25%.
Hey Chad, we're about ready to get started here.
All
right. Good.
Maybe that's just it. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
I'm back to the camera.
Yeah, they won't know
Like,
what it's
stand up.
Who's on that side of the room? Fit behind the chairs for crying out loud. It's luxury over there. Wow. Yeah, it's big time. It might even have like a fresh air damper. Just give me better CO2.
You just gotta ask.
Is that the deal? All right, good to know.
What'd you get?
Nicer
Pens.
We're always short
bunch of
pens
wine
on our
over
side
there.
of the
It's
table.
space.
Laura
They take
never
the
has
pens
a
home
I've
and
been
they
dying
wonder
to
why
try
we
to
have.
pen.
You'd have a pen if you didn't take it home.
Exactly.
I don't take it home.
Listen,
So we
It's
got
probably
our
just
first,
a side effect of being a newbie, I don't know.
after we got our first phone.
We're gaslighting you, take it, tell you.
I could be guilty, I could have taken one with me back to the library
Probably
today.
last week, 3 days.
Did you really?
I think I might
That would've been
have.
more
It was
than
probably
I
not.
sat, well, I sat at Bill's, I sat at Bill's spot.
No, you said words.
Mine is always missing, so now I know I have to go.
I was just guilty because I was trying to figure out why there was golf clubs in the hole of the table. And then I realized they were the handles to the chair.
Got it
That's
100%. So
Because there was a chair
yeah, he's-
between Will and I.
So far, so good.
I didn't want to get too close to him.
Good. Danny, I'm gonna go on additional, he's not supposed to. It's really dirty and ugly.
That lift station that
Kids
kids
have
handle
questioning
everything.
everything, so. We just keep hitting them with sandbox. Some handwritten ones. There's others. Super cool. Yeah, right. No, it's good. And send pictures. That's fun.
After a while.
Trying to feed them full of information on just general stuff, so it's stuff. Sports and teams and various things. My daughter sent him a bunch of riddles to kind of, think about it at night instead of whatever. Yeah, kind of cool. Yeah, for sure. Didn't reference any of that. He was standing in line for confession when he was reading the letter. Every time he had it. But you take them 2 hours on Sunday. It'll be fun to hear more of the stories when we get out.
Yeah.
Or even the next phone call.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, welcome everybody. Nate, do we have any additions to the agenda this evening?
Mayor, one request for an addition, under new business item B. I'd like to add main lift station panel and control upgrade.
Okay, so in addition, under new business, which is 6, item B, main lift station panel and controls upgrade. Okay. I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Public hearing grant, that's off,
Correct.
so we don't, yep. Next item is visitors to be heard. So if anyone from the community would like to come up and share public comment, please come up to the podium, state your name and address.
Good evening, my name is John Cassidy, 416 South Ash Street. We're here tonight to ask the city council to make an ordinance to allow the police to be able to deal with idling and reefer trucks within city limits. Right now, when the police are called, they can only see if the operator of that truck is there and ask them to move. They cannot do anything else, so most times those trucks remain. On July 15th of 2021, my wife Lisa and some residents on our block raised concerns about the noise levels and dust at a city council meeting. On July 21st of 21, the following week, in another city council meeting, it was stated that an ordinance targeting specific behavior would end up penalizing one specific business for what could easily be considered an activity central to their business and customers. It was then decided to set up a meeting between all parties. After this meeting, Total Stop added concrete to their parking lot and placed a couple signs saying no idling. And for quite a while it worked. I think we only had to call police a half dozen times and those trucks didn't move. But we're starting to see an increase in trucks idling for hours and overnights. Over the past few weeks, we've called the police 3 or 4 times. They've had to come out and no drivers were in their trucks, so they sat and idled all night and over the weekend. We understand Total Stop has a business to run, and we're trying to be good neighbors as well. But their right to own and operate a business does not negate our right to have a quiet, peaceful place to live and sleep. And maybe someone can explain to us how idling or reefer trucks parked and running for hours and overnights is an activity that's central to their business. Nobody in our neighborhood purchased their homes knowing we were going to be living next to a perceived truck stop. Trucks idling or running reefers shouldn't be allowed to run extended hours, overnights, or weekends anywhere within the city limits. We have no problems with any trucks parking there. We have a problem with them running. But trucks parked in that lot and idling or running their reefers is no different than a truck parked on the street in front of someone else's home. An ordinance would help protect everyone living within the city limits. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Any other public comment? All right. On to the consent agenda this evening. Nate, do you have anything you'd like to draw attention to?
Couple items, Mayor. First, looking for approval for the hiring of the administrative and media assistant. So that person is slated to start next week, Monday. A note that we found a new truck for the plow and sander. We will have to purchase a sander for that truck, but it's a truck that we can use year-round. The current truck that we have is something that's only used for winter operations. You can't use it during the summer at all. So this will be an upgrade there. Library grant through Lowe's, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Dakota Main Stem Regional Water Appointments. This is just a kind of a bylaws weird issue with the Dakota Main Stem bylaws for the first board. So you'll reappoint there. And then finalizing our lease agreement with Century Business Products.
All right, any council members wish to comment or questions?
Just a reminder that spring soccer's registration deadline is February 28th, and anyone who's interested in signing up, please do so before the registration deadline.
Motion motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, we'll do roll call. Doherty.
Aye.
Bowers.
Aye.
Swear.
Aye.
Andrill.
Aye.
Welch.
Aye.
Mowers.
Aye.
And motion carries. On to, old business, we have ordinance 657, speed limits.
Mayor and council, this is the product of a few different city council meetings where we've discussed and prepared updates to speed limits throughout the community. So following the February 10 meeting, made 3 changes to reflect a 15-mile-per-hour zone on Elm from just north of 5th Avenue to Highway 44, a 10-mile-per-hour zone in Park Drive, and 20-mile-per-hour zones on all other streets. Recommend a motion to approve first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve, ordinance 657. Any other discussion?
For the, ordinance specifically talking about, letter A under 7.0302, 15 miles an hour when approaching 50 feet of a railroad grade, et cetera. We talked about that last meeting, and I just wanna verify that, I don't want residents to be ticketed based on the ordinance without having signage there, and I know that we're working on signage, I just, I think unless someone pulls the ordinance, they're not gonna know it's 15 miles an hour by the
Right.
railroad tracks. So I just would ask that we're only enforcing that when a speed limit, until a speed limit is there. Or when a speed limit sign.
I mean, we obviously aren't gonna be able to put signs out right away anyway. I don't think the police department's all that intent on strictly enforcing that until we have appropriate signage. The street superintendent and I have talked about making sure we take an inventory of what we do have, and then make sure that we're reflecting that ordinance with our signage, so,
Thank you.
all throughout.
Any other discussion or questions? Okay, we already have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. On to new business, award bid museum and band shell repair project.
Mayor and council, bids for this project were prepared by CoCasualty and opened on February 6th. 2 bids were received with wildly wide variations of the bid amounts. CoCasualty recommends awarding the bid to Schwartzley Construction for $230,533. In terms of the pay-fors here, we did budget $150,000 for repairs at the museum in FY25. And the council approved adding the band shell to the project after the annual budget was approved, figuring that would be about a $40,000 price. So, overall, we're about, when you take into account the shingles that we're gonna have to buy, looking at about $60,000 or so that we'll have to pull from funds in 212 reserves, which are very healthy. I'm not concerned about that. Bottom line is this project's not gonna get any cheaper. So, Keith is here from CoCasualty to answer any questions you may have about the project.
One follow-up, came up just the day of bidding, there was a custom color called for the storm windows, so we're gonna be able to back that out. Immediately, looks like that would be about a $15,000 savings right off the top.
Right. Good deal. Any idea why we didn't garner much interest, just 2 bids?
I think it's just size of project would be a big thing, 2 sites, so it's just kind of a lot to manage for smaller budget for a contractor.
Keith, can you walk me through the itemized bid tab? I'm having trouble understanding which part is the band shell and which part is the museum.
Yeah, on the bid tab, it's not separated at all, so you're not gonna be able to tell. We can break that out when we get their scheduled values with the contract.
I just wanted to verify that everything for the band shell was included. It talks about the band shell at the top, it's labeled band shell, but I didn't see any specific line items that were band shell. Also, I don't know what would be a band shell item, so I was just wanted to clarify that.
Sure, yeah, it's, that detail's really not here. All of the structural repairs are in there, a new slab, new protection around the foundation, tuck pointing, so basically all of the corrective work that needed to happen, everything except painting that I think was gonna happen at a future date.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Keith?
When do we expect work to begin on this? Is this spring that we
Yeah.
expected? Okay.
Yep, they'll be ordering materials, it's probably 45 to 60 days, something before they'll get started, but we did leave the schedule a little open-ended to try to entice more bidders also, so we'll be working with them on a fine-tuned schedule.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Keith. Steve? Any other discussion? Otherwise, I'll look for a motion to award project to, not sure how you say it, Schwartzel Construction? Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. And then new item here, B, main lift stations, panel controls and upgrade. Keith, are you gonna kick that one, or Kyle, you gonna kick that one off?
Mayor and council, you have a copy of the proposal in front of you, that I prepared.
Okay, so everyone does have a copy of the slide I put together and the quote as
Yeah, the
well. So the reason this is in front of you today is the budget for 2025 for the control panel was only for 25,000, where this quote came in higher than that at 61,000. In that PowerPoint I put together kind of explains each part of that quote and what exactly is all happening there. It's in front of you tonight because it is considered like an emergency replacement at this time because of the age and the condition that that panel's in. In the case of a fault, some of those components may not be replaceable, which would require a complete control upgrade regardless. If you wanted to kind of run through each slide here, if you guys have any questions on what the quote entails. Essentially it'd be a new box, all new updated components inside. It would also include the addition of a VFD, which is essentially controls the pump speed, where it can throttle down hertz. We can run those pumps more efficiently, saving on electricity usage at that wastewater lift station. That junction box, you can see it's kind of like a rat's nest in there. For any electrician to go in there, I mean, we have to diagnose floats, pumps in that panel, and it's scary opening that box. So that would be replaced with a whole new enclosure as well as terminal blocks that will be labeled. Regardless, in the future, whoever works on this should be able to have that information available. We'll also include a level transducer instead of the current float configuration. This will help the pumps and control the VFD so the level can be maintained at a current or a constant level. That will also include it'll also, I guess, the pumps will run more efficiently in a continuous flow at the wastewater plant with that configuration of a level transducer. But also include a new SCADA information or database that will be all city-owned instead of the current SCADA, which is a third party that doesn't have any control besides alarm dial-out. That's also kind of, I also included a photo in there kind of showing what that might look like.
Is there some cost savings in not having that third party in the long run?
Yeah, we do pay a yearly subscription with that, so that would no longer, I mean, we already have the Ethernet there, so we already pay that bill. So yeah, there would be cost savings eventually.
Sure.
Kyle, I know there's some uncertainty with the future of 1025 in the state legislature, but as we look forward, if that were to eventually come to light, will the SCADA monitoring system, will that all integrate? Is this gonna be able to support kind of our future needs? regardless of.
Well, that would be separate.
Yeah, it wouldn't, I mean,
I know not the main lift station, but I'm talking about what this looks like.
Existing SCADA
Software,
at
is
the
it
plant?
software?
Yeah, that's also coming down the line, in the future, that's just, that SCADA computer that screen you're seeing is on, is still running a very old version of Windows.
like 97.
98, yeah, so it's, that's coming down in the future where that's gonna have to be replaced, and, but this new SCADA monitoring for the lift station will be integrated into that, now and then in the future too as well.
So any additional SCADA points, we'd tie into this system.
Our current
The new
system,
system.
yeah, absolutely.
So really what you're saying is we already budgeted for this, it's just the bid came in higher than what we budgeted for.
Correct.
And the bid exceeds the state minimum for bids. So we got quotes on this one, we did not get a bid, but we're declaring an emergency on this, because if it does go down, we're all in big trouble.
Well, it's
This is our
27,
main lift station.
yeah, it's
so-
27 years old, so.
Right,
And if you notice on that quote, the lead time is 10 to 20
yeah,
days.
it's always,
So
yeah.
if we do go to the bid, I mean, that's just prolonging this. And the contractor that this quote came from, they're the sole reps for the equipment that is installed in that lift station. So those pumps are flight pumps. This controller contractor is Flight's rep, so I think this is the best route to go.
And Nate, where will the funding from this?
It'll just come from 604,
Okay.
from sewer funds, excuse me.
I was just say, what's 6?
604.
Speaking English.
I really appreciate your presentation, because it helps me
Yeah.
understand.
I figured it would,
Yeah.
instead of just looking at a quote and kind of line item that, so, yeah. Will this be available for us to see?
Oh, we can, yeah, I can add it after the fact if we need to.
So do you need a motion to approve this expenditure, or?
Yeah, I'd be looking for a motion to approve the expenditure. We may need to look at a little bit of the contract language yet, so that'll come at a different time, but we can at least get this moving, so.
Any other questions for Val? Otherwise, I'll look for a motion to approve this.
All motion, so moved.
Okay.
Second.
Motion, second. Do we need to do roll call for this? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay.
I'm gonna abstain, I couldn't catch all of that, and I don't have the document from me.
Okay,
I should have thought about that, Chad, my apologies.
that's good.
Thanks.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Cal. Now we're on to executive session. I'll look for a motion to move into executive session for the sole purpose of qualifications, competence, performance, and then also regarding contract negotiations. So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. And I declare this an executive session at 7:18 PM.
to the Senate appropriate